Pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 Lady, and I got my shine. Money in my pocket, and we're feeling fine. Radio's loud, and we're playing Sublime. I think it's gonna be a good day, my oh my. I can't believe I made it this far, it's a miracle. Floating in the clouds now, used to be miserable. Never looking back since I changed my ways. I'm on that good life tip today. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go there with me, girl. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Baby, we can have it all. We can make love out of waterfalls. I'm living that good life after all. Yeah. La da da da, good life, sitting by the fire. La da day, good life, feeling that breeze.
What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great evening. My name is Bleeves. This is Bedtime with Bleeves. Most vaulted hair in crypto. That's all I can say about that. I hope you guys are having a great night. It looks like crypto is off to the races yet again. Guys, you can't hold crypto down at this point. There's been a lot of talk for the last bunch of days that, you know, Bitcoin is running to $1 million. Does that sound right to you? Doesn't sound right to me, but I don't really have any justification. What I do say is that it's headed to $54,000. And if you don't want to lose your crypto, if you don't want to get it taken from you or stolen from you by one of those crazy little thieves, then you better get NordVPN, because if you don't, guess what? Things bad might happen. So if you haven't already, affiliate link down in the description below. Also, if you got a little bit of cash on hand and you want to get a good bonus, BitGet futures trading, absolutely necessary, mandatory. You got to do it. A lot of people are saying, man, I wish I had that funny Donald parody voice. A lot of people are saying, Bigly, greatest thing ever. So guys, I don't even know what to tell you about this crypto market anymore, but we are going to talk tonight. Is CZ Binance guilty? And what's going to happen to Binance? And do they have any evidence? What is it that's going on? And before we kick it off, we're going to do our normal run around. The market's 89, 14, 46. Everything looks like it's starting to pump. Are we in altcoin season? Now, this says 24, by the way. It was at 27 a little bit earlier. And, you know, we've seen it kind of oscillating between 27 and 24. So I don't think that I don't think that we're I think today is going to be the start when this updates for the 30th, or when it updates for tomorrow or something like that. I think we're going to see a change, and I think we're going to see a change starting to move upwards, because if you've been watching, then you've seen 4.5% pump out of Ethereum. Ethereum is still continuing to run. I entered a position a couple days ago, and you know, here we are. It's pumping. Bitcoin 1.6%. But as we go down the list, XRP 10%, Cardano 7%. All of all of the normal blockchains, Polygon pumping, Solana pumping, Polkadot pumping. As you move down here, Cosmos pumping, Stellar XLM pumping, Filecoin pumping, the Lido liquidity exchange going crazy all of a sudden again as we get closer to Shangapella. Near Protocol pumping, VeChain pumping, Arbitrum starting to pump finally. I think a lot of people have been waiting for Arbitrum to start to get one of those lift-offs, but look at this. Arbitrum is now the number 37 crypto in all of cryptocurrency. Stacks is pumping again. The Graph is pumping again. Phantom is pumping again. Now, as you've seen, for most of these are blockchains with the bigger percentages. and that usually signifies that we are getting closer and closer to an altcoin season. So, but let's go down this list here. Mask Network, Rocket Pool, which is also liquidity staking, just like Lido. Everything ETH is touching right now, it looks like it's ready to blow. Conflux, this is the Chinese blockchain, up 1,486% on the year, up 13.5% right now. On down the line, there's so many of them that are just moving right now. So I think we're in a pretty good spot. So my Ethereum trade came in yesterday, right over here. It ran up to about 1771. It was worth a little bit. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let it ride, see what happens. And then it dumped down all the way down, and I got mad as hell. Not because it's not about losing any of the capital off of it, because it all comes back, right? It's no big deal. But man, oh man, oh man, like I really wish that I had listened to myself the first time and liquidated here, because I missed this coming down, which would have been a great pickup, because from 1690 up here would have been just a tremendous win, and missed out on that one for sure. But you can see here, like we started to run on this little trend line. It just started to pump. And then all of a sudden around 2 o'clock this afternoon, just started to go, and it continued to go. Then it retraced just a little bit to the 200 SMA, and now it's starting to pump again. Like there's no quit right now in what Ethereum is doing. And if you look over here on the right, you can see Bitcoin pumping at 0.08%, not really moving, but Ethereum up about twice as much. Not significant at this point, but it is worth noting. Solana up almost 1% right now. MEXC is now pumping again. We've seen this one go from 182 up to 191, and that's about 5.5%. So the rally to get back to where we were before is on. And nobody is calling this shit, by the way. Nobody is saying, hey, this is just going to absolutely immediately reverse. I'm on the phone right now talking about reversals and stuff like that with one of my guys, and like we're seeing it, and I'm like, dude, this thing is going to pump. I called him right here. I called him right here. I'm like, hey man, like I think it's going to 1760 any minute now, right? Because it just when we were it, and here's what we were talking about. I'm going to zoom this out so you can see. I was like, you know what? It really looks like right now. It looks like we're in this little flag pattern, and it means that there's going to be a breakout. And he's like, are you really doing a flag pattern on like an hour's time, on like a couple of hours? And I'm like, well, not really. But also, yeah, because, and as a matter of fact, it was like this right here. And I said, you know, it's really playing out like a flag pattern on this chart. I think there's a breakout coming. And then it started to break downwards, but then it started to wick a little bit. And then when it wicked a little bit, it was wicking down here. And then we got this big wick right here. And that's when I said, hey, man, I think this is heading to 1760, like fast. And the next thing you know, it just pump. Got up to the top up here. And that's when I got out of my position, which was at 1755 right over here. So made a couple $100, which is a good profit, by the way. You know, look, you can't argue when you make a decent day's pay, but you know, to be fair here, I could have made a decent day's pay and then bought a dip down here and made a week's pay. So, you know, not feeling great about that position, even though it did end up being a win. Now, we're going to be talking about some crazy stuff tonight, and we're going to be asking a lot of questions about CZ Binance. So we're going to leave some of this behind. As you see right here, NGN is pumping. Saitama starting to get a little bit of a relief rally. Wiz Protocol, Volt 1630, WAGMI 5965, Terra almost at 3,000 again, BRL at 90 cents, Decanect at 5, Floki not really getting a pump, but 33.67, 1044 for SHIB, MMAI 39.43, Hex at 76.67. Hex is not a buy, by the way. If you are do not buy Hex at this point. It is in that ranging sort of area where it's probably going to go down. It might go up, but it's most likely headed down. And it wouldn't be worth shorting either, because I don't know how far down it's going to go, because ETH is going to keep propping it up. for right now. 13.26 on Cato, Lillian at 56.72, and Bone struggling down at $1.01. I do think just a little bit more on Bone. If I can get this thing down here in this 90-cent range, man, that is a buy. And then I think, of course, when it hits right here, I think it bounces and reverses course almost immediately. So that's what I would be looking to happen. And it would be a quick 10% pickup. So that's why I want to do it. But couple more things before we get into all of the good stuff here. Ethereum percentage of supply hits the lowest level since 2015. Now, to think about that, today there is less Ethereum than at any point since 2015. So significant move on Ethereum. These burns are starting to reduce this supply tremendously, and that is making it just a gigantic deal here. Okay, so be very, very careful with what is going on. So next up, are we at the early stages of a Bitcoin bull market? And this is Bitfinex analysts reveal. So what they're saying in Bitfinex Alpha report, the exchange's analysts point out several notable points that Bitcoin has achieved in the past week, which may result in bullish moves from the asset sooner or later. According to analysts, Bitcoin is beginning to see new market participants over the past weeks. The asset's derivatives trading volume has surged faster than the spot trading volume, thereby driving its volatility. Per the report, Bitcoin's 7-day moving average spot trading volume has only surged by roughly 24 billion. This is way lower than the derivatives market, which has seen Bitcoin trading volume and futures across various exchanges near 1 trillion. The amount recorded in the spot trading volume is the highest ever in Bitcoin's history. It's nowhere near close to the asset's derivative trading volume, the analyst noted. Notably, the rise in Bitcoin spot trading volume can be attributed to the U.S. bank crisis, which caused many traditional bankers to seek Bitcoin as an alternative store of value. Furthermore, Bitcoin's options volume hasn't been left out of the equation, as it has been also peaking in the past few weeks. In the past weeks, Bitcoin's option open interest has spiked to around 12.14 billion. According to the analysts, although the increase in volume may be quite exciting for investors, it creates more risks as it increases volatility. In addition, over the past year, Bitcoin's last active supply has increased as opposed to the asset's supply of long-term holders, which has plummeted. Meanwhile, over the past 7 days, Bitcoin has been in the red. At the time of writing, Bitcoin is currently in a downtrend along some parts of the crypto market, trading around 26.8. Now we're up to 27. I want to say it was about 27.2, 27.4 as of us going live right here. So are we headed into the bull market? Well, they are saying absolutely. All of the things that you are seeing here, and there are caveats to it, but all of these things look and feel like a really bullish move. Now, let's move on. Former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, who did nothing wrong. God damn it. Oh, God, I can't say that without laughing. Faces new bribery charges for alleged crypto payment to Chinese officials. And so as you go down this article, what you find out is that he paid $40 million to a Chinese official. I don't know in what token, by the way, but he paid $40 million to release $1 billion that was held in China in 2019. Absolutely crazy. It just continues to get worse for old SBF. Former Goldman Sachs executive predicts 3 major pillars of power will control future crypto industry. Now, this is not a great article, but it is important to point out. The U.S. regime of highly regulated TradeFi integrated major players, small in number and oligopolistic in nature over time. He says that these people in the U.S. are going to be one of the people. And then the U.S. is likely to adopt sweeping regulation that would leave few able to operate in the industry, creating an oligopoly, which is exactly what the United States wants. You know that that's the case, right? And then the Chinese Communist Party determines who can operate in the crypto industry in Asia. So we've got the U.S. regime, then you've got the Asian regime, and then a global regulatory arbitrage regime that connects the two worlds, but is larger than both. So those are the 3 wings of crypto that they are predicting are going to be there. And this is nothing really about DeFi. So, and as of the moment, DeFi is a safe haven away from a lot of this. How long it stays that way is going to be anybody's guess. But let's move on. Volt, just a deflationary DEX and a hyper-deflationary token going mainstream in an inflationary area. Probably nothing. And we see here the partnership between OKX and Volt. Still talking about that. But now we're going to get into a few different things here. Stock Monkey lizards right here. I want to point this out. This is the breakout for 2019. We had the triple top, and then it absolutely started to soar, right? 2023, we're at the triple top, and it absolutely started to soar. Guys, I can't stress this enough. It went up 150% last time. I'm telling you right now that it's about to go up 100% because all the indicators are saying that this is a $50,000 run that we're about to get into, which would be incredible. It would be for a lot of people, this is going to change this is going to change our economy. Now, we are struggling with the US dollar at this moment. It cannot be stressed enough. If the US dollar does not become the world currency or maintain itself as the world currency, and the Chinese yuan becomes that, then it's going to destabilize the US dollar, and it's going to start a run on inflation, the likes of which we haven't seen before. But there are reasons to at least consider that the United States, first of all, we have to say this. The United States is absolutely screwing up. We're going to talk about that in just a minute, about why they are screwing up completely. Why they are screwing up completely. But there is still some hope, because Gary, the Goldman guy, is going to be in front of Congress in just a few short weeks, explaining himself and trying to clarify what it is that he's doing, because many people in the fintech panel have no idea and would like to have answers. For example, why is the CFTC calling what Binance does commodities fraud instead of securities fraud if the SEC says everything I don't like is a security? So they're going to have a little bit of explaining to do on how they're arriving at that. And then we're going to see what happens here in pretty short order. But we got a couple of weeks. And if he does not have some very, very good answers, then the fact that we now have a Republican House is probably a really good thing in terms of showing there's a lack of support for what he's doing. So because we do have a Democrat president, and because he is an appointee of a Democratic president, we probably don't get to see the change that we would like. But if we can prove that he's not worthy of that, I mean, look, we know it, but if we can prove that he's not worthy in front of the eyes of the president, then maybe we can see a change start to come along. But that's no guarantee. Now, moving on to the next one. This is important right here. 51 bars, 688 days. This was the peak and the cross. 38 bars, 506 days. 7.9, this is the peak, this is the cross. This is the peak, this is the cross. 38 bars, 506 days. Folks, you cannot, it can't keep repeating itself. This is what happened. This is what happened. Now remember, this right here was the dip from COVID, but if we just kind of ignore that for a little bit, because we do have to when we're putting the context on this entirety right here, like all of this was the run. Guys, we are in the midst of the run. All we have to do is have a little patience with it and just hodl. Like, that's literally all you have to do. Now that we are done with that, now it is time to talk about, is CZ Binance guilty? What happens to Binance? What kind of evidence? What is all of this stuff? What is going on here? And let's see what happens here. Okay. Let's see how this plays out. Okay. Now, if you want to, you can go review all 74 pages of this, and there are 74 pages, and I'm going to put it into chat right now so that you guys can see exactly what the link is, and that is it right there. This will tell you everything that you need to know on Doctroid of the 74 pages of allegation. But Adam Cochran has summarized a lot of this for us, and he says, This is the CFTC's attempt to strike a fatal blow to Binance. And at first read through, I think they actually have really strong chances here of succeeding in toppling the Binance empire. This is the case we've heard long rumored that Binance denied, and it is going straight for the jugular. Points out specific actions to broker U.S. exposure to leverage products despite access controls. It says right here, since the launch of the platform, and this is just the allegations. This is just saying that this is what they did, right? Doesn't include evidence here. But number 3, it notes the defendants have disregarded applicable federal laws while fostering Binance's U.S. customer base, not on Binance.us, by the way, but on Binance. So this is right here. Binance's own documents for the month of August 2020, the platform earned $63 million in fees. By May of 2021, it was $1.14 billion in fees. Okay. Number 4, Binance and CZ and Lim are all listed in 7 violations. Number 5, they've got chat records and other documentation from CZ directly on these matters. And that includes a group chat between Zhao, Binance's then head of institutional sales, and Binance's head of big data, which is the operational group responsible for creating and maintaining a Binance's database and databases, including the database that contains customer and transaction related items. A text change from a senior member of Binance's VIP team, a text chain with a compliance consultant who participated in the creation of the strategy concerning the launch of Binance.us and Binance's attendant efforts to retain U.S. customers, a text chain with an accounting employee who participated in the preparation of Binance's monthly revenue reports with Zhao, text chains with senior operations personnel, and group chats titled Finance, HR, MKTHR, which is probably Market Hour, and CEO Office. That moves us to the next one. They also go after the fact that the manipulation, self-dealing, identifying that there are more than 300 house accounts owned by CZ. Now, we saw the explanation of this just recently. Like, we were witness to that. We did see that they were saying that he had an explanation for why all 300 of them were just a big nothing burger, right? So we saw the reply to that, oh, these are just house accounts that, they may have my name on it, but that doesn't mean that that's what was going on, right? Well, let's go further. It also specifically ties in Trust Wallet, Binance Labs due to U.S. exposure, and many Binance employees with U.S. exposure, including volunteer Binance Angels as grounds for a U.S. filing. They designate Binance and its affiliate entities as a common enterprise with UBO and direct control back to CZ, once again as a means to pierce the corporate veil and tie together all entities. Number 9, they have extensive chat and documents from insiders showing that CZ knew about U.S. customers and took steps to hide that in internal documents. Zhao wanted U.S. customers, including VIP customers, to transact on Binance because it was profitable for Binance to retain those customers. Binance has tracked the sources of its revenue by customers' geographic location, among other analytical methods. Zhao routinely received reporting that unambiguously demonstrated that U.S. customers contributed a substantial amount of Binance's revenues. For example, Binance tracked revenues derived from U.S. customers and summarized that information in the Binance monthly revenue reports. So he knew that these people were from the United States. On all counts, CFTC seeks to ban CZ and Lim and all affiliates from engaging in any conduct described in this case, from trading on registered entities, holding any commodity interest, because everything that they said they traded were commodities, not securities, which is probably making Gary, the Goldman guy, really mad right now, and directing any trading of digital assets. Number 11, accepting any funds from anyone for the purpose of purchasing or selling digital assets, registering or exempting. This is just all the way down here, all the way down here, all the way down here, and all the way down here. It is just nonstop what they want. And so that leads us to, well, what do they actually have? And this 74-page report 100% entails exactly what they have and what evidence that they have. Now, here's the thing. These are all, at this point, accusations, and these are all references to the dialogues that they have had or that they have currently that they're willing to use as evidence. Now, this starts right here, facts, and then it goes down here to Binance VIP rewards program rewards important customers. It tells you exactly how the VIPs work. And it says right here, another important benefit that Binance has provided its VIP customers is prompt notification of any law enforcement inquiry concerning their account. According to a policy title for management of LE requests, it just says that we will let you know if the police are coming around looking, right? Not really anything. Zhao has communicated over Signal with the auto-delete functionality enabled with numerous Binance officers, employees, and agents for widely varying purposes. For example, the following Signal text chain or group chats collected from Zhao's telephone were among those set to auto-delete. A group chat between Zhao, Binance's then head of institutional sales. These are all the ones that we were just talking about over here, right? Then here are the list of here's the list of all the stuff right now. And then this is really bad. Okay. Zhao has been directly involved in Binance product offerings. This is number 67, by the way, on I don't know what page we're on here, but page 21. Zhao has been directly involved in Binance's product offering. He has monitored the derivative product offered by competing digital asset exchanges and brainstormed ways for Binance to keep pace with its competition. For example, in an October 2020 chat amongst the Binance Marketing Intelligence Group, Zhao circulated a web link referencing gamified crypto trading and told an employee to keep an eye on this. The employee responded, "We've done some research on this. Right now, most of the gamification tradings are based on some complex derivative financial instruments, such as binary options, exotic options, or perpetual swaps. The reason why we did these futures battles is we wanted to lower the barrier of complex financial products and increase the conversion/retention rate. But there are two things we need to be very careful. Usually this kind of product looks like gambling, which they're now acknowledging in here that they think that this is probably gambling, and users might be much easier to get addicted to these products. Binance currently offers a battle function. In August of 2020, blog post announced the launch of the Marginals Perpetuals, this is all the gamification that they were working on back here, that they were talking about, that they were going to gamify everything. And this explains how they were going to do that. And then here is some evidence. For example, in a periodic report that contains information about Binance's source of revenue is titled August of 2019, the August financial report package breaks down Binance trading revenue by base asset. Transactions comprising 44% of Binance's revenue for that month in trading volume, among other metrics. One slide on the August financial reporting package is titled Trade Revenue by Country. And on here, there is the United States. Binance officers, employees, and agencies have interacted with U.S.-based institutional customers at Binance-hosted networking and social events in the United States at various times over the relevant periods. So, including an April 2022 party in Las Vegas to which Binance invited its largest accounts, such as top heavyweights of HFT's prime brokerage and VES, and networking events in Austin, Texas. Binance and Zhao have also participated in numerous digital asset industry conferences in the United States. Keep on going. And there are a few more chats that they're going to reference in here. Here we go. There's a few more. These guys, there's a lot in here. And keep with Binance and Zhao's ethos of prioritizing profits over legal compliance, they knowingly allowed the two Bitcoin no KYC loopholes to persist. In an October 2020 chat between Lim and a Binance colleague, Lim explained, because you attended a telephone conference in which Zhao participated, then you will know that as a company, we are probably not going to remove no KYC because it's too painful. I think CZ understands that there is a risk in doing so, but I believe this is something that concerns our firm and its survivability. If Binance forces mandatory KYC, then the competing digital asset exchanges will be very, very happy. So they knew about the problems, they knew about these issues, and they did nothing about them. Then Binance senior management, including Zhao, continued to be aware of and discuss the two BTC no KYC loophole. For example, in a March 2021 Signal message group that included multiple senior managers, Zhao asked who was in the 2-bit limit meeting last time. So they're referencing all of the stuff that they should not be doing. Despite their awareness of Binance's compliance failures, Zhao, Lim, and others acted on behalf of Binance, publicly represented that the platform had effective compliance controls. And guys, listen, he says it nonstop. We are the safest. We're the ones that do everything right, blah, 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 blah. And this is what was assured to the financial regulators. 4 months later, an internal message to a colleague, Lim admitted that Coin doesn't even do AML, name screening sanctions / screening. Binance also, .com. And they intentionally try to hide the limit and scope of their program. Lim says can't let him know to be careful with his flow of funds, especially from darknet like Hydra. He can come back with a new account, but this current one has to go. It's tainted. This is one of the agents that works for Binance telling somebody how to overcome an account that's been exposed as a U.S. account. Don't need to be so strict. Offboarding is bad in CZ's eyes. And here we have, for example, in June 9, 2019, around the time Zhao and Binance hatched their secret plot to retain U.S. customers, even after the launch of Binance.us, Binance chief financial officer stated during a meeting with the senior management, including Zhao, sort of the messaging I think would develop it as we go along is rather than saying we're blocking the U.S. is that we're preparing to launch Binance.us. So we would never admit it publicly or privately anywhere that we serve U.S. customers in the first place because we don't. So it just so happens we have a website and people sign up and we have no control over that. But we will never admit that we openly serve U.S. clients. That's why the PR messaging piece is very, very critical. Zhao agreed that Binance's PR messaging was critical, explaining in a meeting the next day that we need to finesse the message a little bit. And the message is never about Binance blocking U.S. users because our public stance is we never had any U.S. users, so we never targeted the U.S. We never had U.S. users. But during the June 9, 2019 meeting, Zhao himself stated that 20 to 30% of the traffic comes from the United States. Guys, this is absolutely crazy, okay? And let me pop this right here so you can see this. This is a conversation. Internal messaging among Zhao, Lim, and other Binance senior managers document that Binance was aware of the applicability. Let's get this up here so you can see it. I know it's a pain in the ass, but it's my duty to constantly remind you. We have made no mention of sanction or support of our sanction on our platform already. We are going to proceed to block sanctioned countries' IP addresses. Are we going to? Or do you want to adopt a clearer strategy after we engage and finalize our USA strategy? Downside risk is FinCEN or OFAC has concrete evidence we have sanctioned users. They might try to investigate or blow it up on a big worldwide stage. 2 months later, Lim acknowledged that Binance was operating in the USA and advised his colleagues there's no fucking way in hell I'm signing off as the COO for the OFAC shit. And moving it further, in December 2019, 3 months after Binance began offering quarterly futures and perpetual contracts, we still have U.S. users on our platform. We do not perform world check on .com. We do not perform world check on .com. Lim has displayed a nuanced understanding of applicable regulatory requirements. Zhao has been keenly aware. For example, Zhao explained during a June 9, 2019 management meeting, there are a bunch of laws in the U.S. that prevent Americans from having any kind of transaction with any terrorist. And then in order to achieve that, if you serve U.S. or U.S. sanctioned countries, there are about 28 sanctioned countries in the U.S. You would need to submit all relevant documents for review. But that is not very suitable for our company structure to do so. So we don't want to do that. And it's very simple. If you don't want to do that, you can't have American users. Honestly, it's not reasonable for the U.S. to do this. U.S. regulators can't make a special case for us. We are already doing a lot of things that are obviously not in line with the United States, while at the same time acknowledging that it had tons of users. Lim continued his crafty efforts to assist Binance customers in circumventing. Here are examples. Employee, hi, Samuel. We are helping to integrate with us to introduce new users and trade liquidity, but find most of their users are from the US. Now, Binance.com block US IP from registration. May I ask whether it is still a hard requirement nowadays? And Lim says, outline, this is recorded, by the way. Yes, it still is, because if US users get on .com, we become subjected to the following US regulators: FinCEN, OFAC, and SEC. But as best we can try, we can ask our users to use a VPN or ask them, and folks, if you need to use a VPN, NordVPN is one of the best that there are. So, ta-da. If you haven't already, make sure that you're checking out NordVPN. And this is, guys, this goes on and on. I'm on page 39 right now. I've just skimmed through this, but there are multiple, and I mean, like, it is constant. Binance's plan to instruct U.S. VIP customers to submit new KYC documentation was devised by Zhao during a June 24, 2019 meeting with senior management. Right here. Zhao, okay, so is this them creating a new account? But we talked about having them change KYC. Has that ever been done? This is them talking about U.S. customers and how they're going to continue to have U.S. customers that are not KYC'd. Guys, what do you think of Binance now? So, from everything, thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. I worked my way completely through that. Haha. Guess you learned. Aha. Yeah, God damn it. But here, on the bright side, we did learn, even without me sharing the screen for just an enormous amount of time. We did learn that there's recordings of this. There are text messages in between. This is ongoing, and this continues and continues and continues. And this, they knowingly concealed the presence. And then here is all of the information showing that they were aware of the data. And then here's more aware of the data. And then here's more text exchanges between people. And then here's them using other trading firms to try to make this happen and to try to obfuscate so that people did not see what was going on. Zhao has communicated directly with trading firm C's CEO, who has a New York phone number. In one Signal text chain, trading firm C's CEO messaged to Zhao, "Hello, CZ. This is blank from blank. Firstly, I want to reach out and thank you for meeting with me and my team several weeks ago. Secondly, I also kindly wanted to follow up with you regarding the day limit on spot. I've been struggling internally with my portfolio management team to get traction on increasing the day limit as we are looking to expand our trading platform as well." And it goes on. And within 5 minutes, he says, looking into, and then there's an ongoing chain here of how he's helping people to avoid detection from the U.S. government. Guys, this is not somebody who's caught red-handed, right? This is not somebody caught red-handed. This is an accusation so far. This does not mean that they did it, but they did it. This is and now let's go back here, because I did have a conversation with somebody today. We were talking about, this, and I said, look, you should probably get your money off of this exchange. This is crazy. And they were pretty defensive of that. They think that Binance is going to be just fine. And overseas, Binance might just be fine. Binance.us, I think, is going to be in a big situation. They're going to be in a big problem. And I think the most important thing is to be safe, as opposed to sorry. $500 million has been liquidated out of Binance in the last 48 hours. And it's continuing. It's continuing, by the way, which is great for other exchanges, obviously. But this is a very real threat to not really cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrency is going to move on. Exchanges will fail. Exchanges will go away. They're going to be gone in many different ways, but really at this point, you should be in a DeFi wallet, you should not hold things on an exchange other than what you're willing to lose and risk on a trading basis. It only costs you. I mean, look, if you're moving a lot of if you're moving a lot of capital around, it only takes $10, $20 to move your stuff back and forth off of that centralized exchange. Like, get your stuff off of this, at least this exchange, just in case. Like, here's the thing. We think that these guys are solid because they were the first ones to come up with proof of reserves and to do all this stuff so that they could show themselves to be on the cutting edge. Well, you know who was on the cutting edge until he wasn't on the cutting edge? Was Sam Bankman-Fried. Because, look, you can say, oh, I knew that guy was a crook. I knew that guy was a scammer. I knew better. I knew blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. And if you want to, we can go back to everybody's comments back in October and September and August and July when Sam Bankman-Fried was the savior of the goddamn human race because he was great for crypto. He was this benevolent guy. He was blah, 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 blah. And FTX was the greatest thing ever. The number one, the bee's knees, right? It was the competitor to buy. It was the big deal, right? And we were randomly just talking about Jesus Christ. There are really a lot of shorts and longs that are getting liquidated off of FTX. Did you guys ever notice that? Remember, we used to talk about that. How much was being liquidated off of there? And, we didn't have any clue. We just thought, a lot of good trading volume, a lot of trading. Well, that, you know what? That's where the assholes went to trade. So now it collapses and here we are. But in the days before the collapse, before BitBoy started to climb aboard his 3-hour tour with Gilligan and the skipper, when he decided to go to the Bahamas and show everybody that he was one with us and all of that kind of stuff, before he really started all that kind of shit. Great publicity, by the way. Great, absolutely great move, especially when you have a book tour coming up. That was beautiful. That was brilliant. I mean, if you're not, look, you may not like BitBoy Crypto, but you got to at least respect that kind of hustle. This guy suddenly cared so much about you right around the time his book came out that he made you want to forget. He made you want to forget something very important. You know what that important thing was?
So number one is Sandbox. Number two and number three, some coins I've been talking about a lot and speaking very favorably of, you got to go with FTT and CRO. I really believe these 100%.
Did you hear it? Before he got this moral compass, he was telling people, you really got to go with FTT. So there you go. And it's fair for people not to like the guy, right? It's fair for you to look at him and be like, yeah. But that's not what people were doing. They were calling him the savior. They were saying that he was the guy that was going to save crypto in the United States for everybody. That's what people were saying. And it was widespread. It was not. And now what are we doing? We're doing the same thing with CZ. And what are we finding out? CZ is that piece of shit that I kept telling you guys that he was this whole time. How many of you guys came into this chat? How many people have been in this chat all this time telling me, oh, no, you got it wrong, man. CZ, just because CZ's a billionaire doesn't mean that he's a bad guy. Really? Okay. So here we are. And CZ, it turns out, was manipulating and working against the law behind everybody's back to basically at this point ruin cryptocurrency, at least for Americans. So you tell me what you think. Douglas, I don't have one, man. I appreciate that. I would certainly love to do that, but I don't have a partnership with Ledger. Maybe Zach Humphreys or somebody like that does. You know what? In fact, maybe Rodney does. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to take a quick look over at Rodney real quick, and maybe No. Uh, maybe. Here we go. I got a link for you. This is a link for Cryptos R Us. If you ever talk to Cryptos R Us, remember to tell him that Believes is the guy giving out his link. So, yeah, that's where you can go right now, and that's for Cryptos R Us. So, there you go. But anyway, so back to it. This is the shit's going on. So now let's go ask this question: how bad is the Binance suit? Right? CFT's filing was a surprise to an extent. There have been rumors, and even internal IRS were preparing lawsuits in range of corporate failings. When U.S. sanctions Russian crypto exchange Bitslotto, they noted Binance was a large counterparty for darknet marketplaces. On the 74-page complaint, the CFTC accused Binance of not only servicing U.S. customers without filing the appropriate license, but actively helping customers skirt Know Your Customer and other compliance rules. Binance executives were allegedly aware of its geofencing tools were inadequate and even had a semi-formalized, though confidential, procedure for getting whales around it and shielding their U.S. IP addresses. The case is obviously bad for Binance and comes during an uncertain time for crypto. Experts say this could be a fatal blow to the exchange or disrupt a significant part of its revenues. Bloomberg's Matt Levine, for instance, essentially said the case is not centered on consumer safety, but designed to prevent Binance from profiting from U.S. hedge funds. CEO Zhao could be barred from running the firm he founded in 2017 and from trading crypto, period. If Zhao, who is thought to be one of the wealthiest people in the world, starts selling off assets, that could have a negative impact on crypto prices, and cutting Binance out of the derivatives market could have deleterious effects on Bitcoin liquidity and price. If BitMEX case filed by CFTC in 2018 provides any insight into how things will play out, the toppling of the largest derivatives exchange may be worse than it sounds. So that's what the U.S. is looking to unwind it all. Now, here, by the way, in closing this out, SEC Chair Gary Gensler, Goldman Gary himself, is going to appear before the Digital Assets Subcommittee. So the Housing Financial Services Chair, Pat McHenry, said that Gary Gensler would appear before the Digital Assets Subcommittee in mid-April. The hearing would address the chairman's approach to rulemaking at the SEC and digital assets. So, what we see here and what we have here is this will be the first oversight hearing of the SEC. The oversight hearing will seek clarity on Gensler's rulemaking and approach to digital assets. In terms of policy, this will be a serious approach in terms of us laying down a regulatory sphere for digital assets. So we're going to have potentially some clarity coming from the market. Aha, aha, ha, 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 ha. Or as CZ might say, but how crazy is that everything, look, guys, I'm going to pat myself on the back for this one. But I told you, I've been telling you, I'm going to continue telling you, CZ Binance did not become a billionaire by being a good guy. He might be good for crypto in the long run, but guess what? If he's banned from crypto because he's a piece of shit and because he did all these things, if he's banned from cryptocurrency, he will become the biggest villain in the history of cryptocurrency because he will take the largest exchange, he will rattle it to its core, he will shake it, the very foundation of cryptocurrency, and then he will start selling off. And guess what? Does crypto even recover from that? Of course it recovers, but how long does it take? And that, my friends, we're going to find out probably pretty quickly, because I hope that we don't have to see this play out for a long period of time. And the good part about the American justice system is that it takes a long fucking time. Like, it winds itself a long way. And if something happens and there's an issue, there's an appeal, there's all kinds of different stuff that they could do. And now it's happening here in the United States. So yeah, we're it's gonna be crazy. Oh, and by the way, is there any chance that you guys want to hear the song Sideways sped up? Because I took the Sideways song and I sped that sumbitch up. So as an outro today, if you guys would like to hear that, then I would be happy to show you guys Metapolitans, which I got some gameplay footage of Metapolitans today, and I have the song like ready to go, staring down the barrel, so to speak, and it would actually be pretty cool if I could like cut this thing up a little bit and share it with you guys right here. I'm going to cut a piece of this out so you guys can see it. And then, yeah, there we go. All right. So I should be able to export this, and we're going to call it side, and then we're going to export this. Should be fairly quick if you guys want to hear it. Like, I think it's going to be, I think it's awesome, by the way. I've sped this song up because look, guys, if you guys know me for any, if you've heard my look, I like heavy, fast music, right? When I listen to punk rock, I like fast, 1 minute long, 2 minute long punk rock songs. When I listen to heavy metal, one of my favorite songs, I will say this, one of my favorite songs ever is Master of Puppets. I think it's a really great song, but it's like 7.5 minutes long. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I could listen to 3 good songs in the time that it took me to listen to this one song. So I don't always, drives me crazy where I can't like listen to different, like I ADD, call it what you want. It just in my mind, I just can't, the fact that it takes so long, right? It's just me out of my goddamn mind. So I'm going to export this, and I'm going to turn this down to 1280. And now we'll run this. Should go super fast. I should be able to upload it quick, and then we can enjoy it because I think that it's kind of cool. He passed away. Yeah, I lost my dog. So yeah, he wasn't going to get better. He was getting old, and he got worse and worse and worse. So we had to put him to sleep. So it is almost done over here. I have to collate it real quick so that we can listen to it. But yeah, Cofferton, he's not here anymore. And we am done. Okay, so now I'm going to upload. It's going to take a second. I might slow down for just a second, by the way, while I'm doing this, because it takes a second for this thing to upload. But it did come out really good. Like, I sped it up to, I think it's like 1.2. And the song plays really good at the 1.2 level. Wait. In fact, I don't need this. I could actually go here, and I could go to video file, and I could do this. Just watch the videos. Can you hear it?
Okay, it's been a long day. I mean, a long week, maybe a long year. So let's get something clear. We're gonna stock up on some party favors later on. Tell everybody they're invited, you should come along. Best to bring your good foot. Ladies gonna be dancing on the ceiling, cocky and appealing, possibly revealing, getting sideways like a bridesmaid as she vibrate. If you a lightweight, hope you hydrate. We gon' tip the bottles back, busting out the fat sacks. People wearing costumes, chewing on a mushroom, something like a wonderland. Understand? Going down the rabbit hole with my kinfolk to another land. Damn,
yeah.
I said we do it like this. Magic operators on the third eye shit. Mr. Pine Cones come a long, long way. So everybody get sideways. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way. getting sideways. Life of the party, I'm a real go-getter. Rock a fur coat, but it's not chinchilla.
Oh, God, for most of you guys, this could be the first time you get to hear Chevy Chase.
I bowl on a budget, got a bag full of nuggets. Living life to the fullest before I'm kicking the bucket. No time for the haters, I'm the meat and potatoes. I'm the product of Anunnaki and God the invaders. You wanna go down the rabbit hole? Well, come along with me. Let me phone home. Let me take you on the trip to the Pleiades or the Seven Seas.
I've never played the third verse on this, so this will be the first time that I play it. This is actually another guy named Chevy Chase. That I don't know him, but he's buddies with my friend that sings this song.
I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way. Everybody's getting sideways. Whoa, another shot of the bullet. Know the guy complex, cocking and pulling. That bottleneck look like the Loch Ness. What are we doing? I'm about to fall out, boy, in a post in the pudding. So, can we forget about the things I said when I was drunk? I ain't mean to call you that. I'm ice cold like the kid, the bartender tap. On another level like I fuck around with ASAP. Burn. So what's the word? What's the deal? Don't be asking how I'm doing unless you want to keep it real. Cause I'm all up on my feels. Jesus, take the wheel. This liquor got me more set than Jagger Lil pills. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways.
So anyway, guys, this is that Metropolitan.
Pass the bottle back my way. Everybody's getting sideways.
All right, there you go. Do I like Vinny Pazienza? I don't like slow music like that. I think he's got an interesting voice. As a matter of fact, there's a song that he does. I don't think it's him, but I think he's a guest on it. It's called "The Heavy Metal Kings," and I think that's a really cool song. But that's really the only song that I've ever liked, that I've ever heard that he's done. Now, that being said, I do drink Everlast. I was always a big fan of Everlast. And Stone in My Hand, one of the it's not newer, but it's one of the newer songs. I really big fan of that. So yeah, I do. I don't like Vinny Paz, but I do like a lot of the people that he associates with by proxy. So yeah, it's anyway, Tether is perfectly safe as of this moment. And this is one of the things that I wanted to close with. We really have to realize that if there's an attack on the U.S. dollar, and at this point we have to be aware that that there is an attack on cryptocurrency. We are witnessing the United States attacking cryptocurrency. Now, let me flip over here to some charts because Jesus Christ, it's getting out of control, right? Here we are. The market is just like, here we go. We're heading back up. We were just at 1790 just a few minutes ago. Now we're retracing back down here. We're up 3 billion in market cap for the last what do you call this? 2 hours. So in 2 hours, we're up $3 billion. Bitcoin not moving too much. There's not a lot of things. Look over here. 0.2, 0.2, 0.32, but SHIB is up 1.5%. Solana is up 2%. MX is up 2.5. And you come down this list here, 1.77. There's a lot of things not ETH and Bitcoin that are starting to move a little bit. Now, I don't know what a good entry point is, but I would guess if you're going to make a risk, then this line right here at 1765, that's too rich for my blood. Like I don't feel like that's a good position for me. So I'm not going to get in at that level. If it comes back down there, I would prefer to see this bounce level around 1740, 1750 before I would get back in or consider getting back in. For Bitcoin, really, it's kind of a matter of the same thing. And by the way, did you all see how this all trended right here? And did you see how it like bounced off of that line? Well, the joke's on you because that line was actually I circled this the other day when we were talking about the triple tiered pump, the parabolic, the parabolic move. to 54,000, and it just ironically bounced off of exactly that line. So yeah, that was not a planned occurrence, by the way. That was some serious irony. But so Bitcoin, I would be looking like, look, this is, for me, this is, if you are a Bitcoin maxi, anytime right here is probably a good time to do it, right? But I don't like to get into something, and like I get really annoyed by the fact that yesterday morning I got into ETH at 1755. It pumped up to 1770, 72, a small profit, but I did not like it. And I didn't take the profit off of it. I thought, run a little bit longer, and then I'll, like, and a matter of fact, I was actually coming into the studio to start filming Breakfast with Bleeves in the morning. And when that happened, by the time I got there, it was already coming back down. So then I thought, you know what, I'll just let it ride and see what happens. And then, of course, we had this gigantic capitulation that happened right here. And then I was so upset because I was like, Jesus Christ, I could have bought like 15 ETH down here and ran this entire thing up. And again, like I said this at the beginning of this show, like this went from me, I made $400 off of this trade from here over to here, but I could have made $2,000 by just selling when I had the opportunity and when I had the profit in hand. I was too greedy, I think. It really was. It was a small profit, by the way, but I did think, it would be a little bit longer, and I should have known better because we were on the other side of the 200 SMA, so it was destined probably to come down. So it comes down, then it runs, and I could have bought this dip down here, and I could have been in a great position, and I just absolutely whiffed and absolutely missed it. And in fact, I would have gotten in at 1720 and would have come down here, and I would have been annoyed by it, but I would have been at 1720. So when it started pumping up here, I would have been much happier with the position, and I was already noticing that line right there. So like I already saw what this was. I already had like this idea of what was going to happen there, and just didn't play it out the right way. So, but in the end, I still made a profit. So that's the good news in all of it. So, yeah, lesson learned. But look, the money is coming back into the market. Everybody keeps telling you that crypto is coming back down, and look, the curve is right there. So it fits that cryptocurrency could have a retracement because we're not above. And listen, there's let me do here a bum 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 bum. Where is my? So let's just kind of go from here. God damn it. I just picked the wrong thing. Ain't that a bitch? Let's try that one more time. Here to here to here to. Am I missing something? Am I like? Okay, now I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong here. God damn it, there it is. All right. So we're going to do it over here. Then we're going to take this up. God damn it. Oh, I know what's happening. This goddamn thing. I forgot about that. So there it is right there. So sorry about that. Like I did something, or TradingView changed something where you just continue to do it over and over again until you change it back over here to your normal view. But you can see right here, like it's still moving in this kind of curve pattern. And as long as it doesn't break out and get up above right here, then, I would suppose that we're probably destined to at least retrace and come back down just a little bit. But I want to say that the most likely scenario is, and to remember here, one of the things that you have to remember here is that this is inside the top of the golden pocket that we talked about for so long down here in this range. So now here we sit, we're about to bust out of that, which is at about 28 right here. We're going to bust out of that and go into this little green area, which is a high zone 3 at 30,000. Look, I would be setting probably down here a little bit, 29.7, somewhere around there, like somewhere around that spot right there. I would probably be setting a short. Some people are setting it at around 28.4, saying that we're probably not going to go above 28.4. And they're setting buy orders for that. So, I mean, it's entirely possible that there's a gigantic fight right there at 28.4. But I feel like we're still destined for 30,000 before any correction. So we got to get that 30,000. Just because it still annoys me, by the way, that Selmo Fudd said we're not going to 30,000 this year. And here we are, like right there. And he was just so confident when I was talking to him the other day that we're not going to that. And I'm like, ew. Just for that, I want to go there. So, you know what I mean? So let's see what happens. So anyway, it's not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate each and every one of you. And we will see you guys again for breakfast in the morning. Stay safe. Stay careful. Remember, this market's probably going to pump overnight. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't. I'm gonna, I might set I might set something at 1740 or 1745, maybe 1747, just in case it comes down, and put in a buy order. But it looks like this market really wants to start running just a little bit. So I'm gonna wait for a retracement before we do anything else, or before I do anything else. So you guys do what's best for you and do your own research and figure it out for yourself. But I am dry powder on the sidelines for the moment, and we will talk to you guys again for breakfast.
Mr. Pine Cones come a long, long way, so everybody gets sideways. Sing it.